Now we are going to dive super deep into Next.js throughout this entire course. Nonetheless, I think it's also pretty nice to get our hands dirty now already and to at least explore how a Next.js app works and behaves. And for this, in this project which we created, in this terminal navigated into this project folder, we can now run npm run dev. This runs one of the built-in scripts which we find here in the package.json file, and npm run dev spins up our development server. That is a built-in server which serves our Next.js pages and the overall application. It will watch our code, and whenever we save changes to files, it will automatically reload and update the pages we see in the browser, and it will in general give us a great development experience. Later, once we're ready to deploy our application, we're going to run npm run build to build it for production, to produce an optimized output for deployment, and npm start later then to start this optimized server. Because we are working with a real server here, a Node.js based server, since we need that page pre-rendering which happens on the server. But that is already a little bit too much right now. We are going to dive into that throughout the course, and we are going to learn how to deploy and so on. And therefore right now, let's use this dev script and spin up that development server. Now this will then serve this next application by default on localhost 3000, as you see in the output down there. And therefore you can visit localhost 3000 and you should see something like this. The exact starting screen could change over time, but it should be something like this. And if you are using my attached snapshot, you will definitely see this. Now what we see on this screen is actually the result of this index.js file in the pages folder. In there, we have a regular React component, a functional component, which returns JSX just as we know it from React, but this component here is actually now pre-rendered. And hence, if we view the page source here in localhost 3000, we find all that content which we see on the screen, all that text and so on, here in the HTML markup. Because this page was pre-rendered, because I did mention that this would be one of the key features offered by Next.js, this built-in page pre-rendering, which we don't have in standard React apps. So out of the box, we got this, and we can now start working on this project here, or on this page. And since it is a regular React component, we can do whatever we can do with React components. Manage state, render different JSX content for different states, and so on. But since we're going to dive way deeper into all these core features and into how we build a Next.js application with multiple pages and with other React components, since we are going to dive into all of that, I will keep this first example very simple. And I will simply clear all the content we have in this main div here. All that content, I'll clear it so that only the div is left, and get rid of this import, which we don't fully understand yet, but which we will reintroduce later. And then here in this div, I'll just add a h1 tag where I say hello next world. And if we now save this save is picked up, the dev server updates the page, and we now see this on the screen. And again, if we view the page source, we also find this text content here in the source code, so that pre-rendering still works out of the box. And that's our first Next.js application, our first Next.js project. Arguably not too exciting, but we are going to dive way deeper into Next.js in the next course sections now.